I'm just walking out of the den now. It's nearly empty. It's weird. Only 2 hours ago it was less than 2 hours ago it was electric here, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. I don't know if there's much more to be said really. Then a 4-0 win against your rivals, extending that unbeaten streak to, it's going to be 30 years in March. You know, I think Alex Neil looked a bit tired by all because he does a few media bits before he comes to the written media, and he mentioned he felt a bit exhausted after, because, you know, you can see him how animated he gets on the touchline, running up and down, and it's like he plays the game with his players. So he was a bit more subdued, but, you know, he was glowing about all of his players, and as he should be. You know, down to every part of that starting 11 were fantastic today. You know, Nathan Jones looked a bit like a beaten man. You know, he was gracious to come. He wasn't, you know, snappy or anything, but he said it was like they were men playing against disjointed schoolboys, which I thought was quite an apt and funny way to sum it up. You know, every facet of the game, especially that second half when Alex mentioned he made the change, because initially he wanted them to have the ball, thought because of how quickly Charlton play and try and transition, but he turned it a bit more aggressive. Only a 1-goal lead. It was just relentless. It was all over. They were all over them, wave after wave. It wasn't even close. There was some nervousness in the press box, and you could sort of see it a bit in the stands, as to what's going to happen if Charlton, you know, Dykes gets through. And there was one bit where I thought he might do, then I thought he got shoved, but it turns out it's hit his hand. So there was a bit of worry they get done just by lumping it up to the big man or in some stupid set piece or something. But no, back four was solid. That's 11 clean sheets now, joint most in the league. I spoke to Caleb Taylor after the game as well. He was buzzing. He's come on along a long way. I mean, he's only been there in 4 months. It's not like he was poor when he started, but just in terms, you could see every week he's getting more and more used to the physicality and the level he's playing at. And he's just superb. His third goal of the season already. You don't necessarily expect, I mean, I'm not sure where the rankings are in terms of goal scorers. I know Femi's up there, Camille's up there, Ivanovic is up there, but I'd say he'd be sort of up there too. He's such a threat at set pieces. They've got three, and you can see the size of him when he comes up, and you see the size of Jake Cooper as well and Tristan Kramer. They're all good on the ball, but they're all so massive. You know, they just out jump, out fight, out compete. All these guys. It must be quite daunting unless you're a big unit like Dykes, who even he struggled. He barely got any service. But yeah, it was just such a comprehensive win, and I think they're a bit pre-match nerves. I just had this instinctive feeling that at derbies, they always make them closer than it should be. You know, Millwall on paper, no easy game in the Championship, but they are just a better side coming into it. The form and quality they have in their squad, and Charlton are just up from League One. But derbies have a habit of making themselves closer than they should be, but it wasn't close really. There were a few nervy bits in that first half, but then they switched at half time, and yeah, out of sight. And I think it was exactly what the Den needed really. You know, it's been, I saw another great stats, only dropped 7 points in the last 11 home games, and to see a 4-0, I don't think I've seen Millwall score 4 goals in a game since I started working for NewsAtDen. I think that's the first one. And just to see a victory that comprehensive and to save it for your rivals as well, perfect timing, right? So yeah, again, it's not much to analyse really, other than just Charlton got the shit kicked out of them. And the thing is as well, if you look, when we were looking at this sort of 3-game week, it was another one. We say this a lot about the Championship. It was another one that was looking tricky. You know, Watford away at Vicarage Road, good team, hadn't lost at home. I think they'd lost at home once all season. Then obviously Coventry, the league leaders, and then Charlton at home. And really, you could make a strong argument that Millwall should have come away with 9 points from that. You know, 6 points is a great tally. But they went to Coventry, as I said, and competed and fought and scrapped and could have come away with that win. So just given the difficulty of that, it's going to stand them in really good stead. I think the fixture list gets a bit easier from now on. Obviously Sheffield United aren't an easy side. Wrexham away, it's a bit of a trek. It's not an easy game either. But then Sheffield Wednesday, we're getting picked apart right now. It seems. I think there's a bit of a fire sale going on. Hopefully, have more to share on a midfielder from Sheffield Wednesday soon, if things go as planned. But yeah, it's they've done really, really well. They've come through a lot of tough stretches this season, and we were looking at it as well. 49 points by sort of late January. They finished on 66. They're already well on track to improve on last season, which was the goal. It was to compete for the playoffs and to improve, and they're doing both of those. So yeah, there's no reason why not. Given I wrote a sort of feature column in the week about, is this the best they've played? I think it's the best they've been all season. If they keep up this trajectory, I think you could pencil in for the playoffs. Anything could happen in the Championship. Guys could get injured. People's form could fall off a cliff. Anything could happen. So you don't want to make sort of too confident a claim. But I really feel if this is how... And Millwall aren't going to be perfect every game. They're not going to maintain this level for every game. But they can sort of stay there or thereabouts and maybe pick up points in games when they're not playing well. There's no reason why they can't make the top 6. But we'll see. Anything can happen in the next 3 months. But yeah, I think as week goes on, I think fans should feel a bit more confident in dreaming in making the playoffs for the first time in 20 years. We'll see come May.